Good morning. This is Mad Marty reaching out to you from the greater Rockford area on a lovely, cool, near summer morning. Just wanted to go over something where, well, with COVID and everything, you really had a lot of spare time. Had a lot of time not really knowing what to do with myself. And during my journeys, I came across this page on MeWe. It's a group page about getting your questions answered about barbecue. Personally, I love barbecue, and there are a lot of things that I am bad at. I can't really do sports, I can't really build things, I cannot cook to save my life. And I thought to myself, man, I'd really like to barbecue. So after talking to a few people and considering features and stuff out there, because let's face it, a guy like me can't handle 50-pound bags of charcoal. So I needed to get something that I felt was really good for smoked meat. Part of my problem was I'm no good with cooking in the oven. You know, none of my meat would ever turn out right, especially steaks. And I just got sick of it. So I really wanted a smoker. And ultimately I went with the Masterbuilt 30-inch electric smoker. My folks were kind enough to get it for my birthday. Yeah, I'm a little old for birthday presents, but this will be a review examining the pros and cons of this particular unit, this electric smoker, and we'll talk about how a guy with disabilities is able to use it. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so this is the instruction manual. It's actually, when I was perusing it last night, it actually wasn't bad. So you get a lot of good information in here. You get in all these different languages, which is pretty standard with anything you buy these days. Okay, so we did the pre-seasoning in advance. So basically I had to run it last night for 3 hours at 275. So we are looking for the recipe portion because it does have this very handy chart. And you can see here beef, game, pork, poultry, seafood, and even vegetables. For poultry, chicken breasts. Says boneless. Okay, size 3 count. Okay, we have a little bit more than that. 45 minutes per pound. So we got 5.22, so whatever that is times 5.22, 45 minutes at a temperature of 165, actually, that's confusing, says 225, oh, internal temp, that means meat, I think. So we'll turn it to 225 degrees Fahrenheit. We can do this. Okay, so that is the actual unit itself. On my very big disaster I call a deck. I'm gonna have to do some very creative shooting here because it is really bad out here. Okay, we're gonna do a quick showing of the interior of the unit. So there is 4 trays to work with. Got your chip port down there, and you slide in chips on the side, and you got 4 racks, so a pretty decent amount of space. Still smells like smoke from last night. Okay, for my first go around with this thing, I just took some what I thought originally were just boneless chicken breasts, but it actually turned out to be chicken breast with rib meat, so I can't even get that right apparently. But I took some basic seasoning, some pepper, and spiced them on up. This is probably more than I can handle in terms of meat, but at least I'll have some for the rest of the week. Furthermore, you may notice that this is actually on my Olympia rolling cart. It is a product I reviewed on a previous video, and for a guy like me, anybody with disabilities, makes it a lot easier to roll your stuff around with and carry it out by hand. Also, just it's kind of a nice touch to be able to do this outdoors, so just kind of sat here and spiced my meat while sitting in the morning sun. So Pretty cool. Okay, so one thing I noticed right away was that my trays are, I don't have any trays that can really fit inside this thing, so I have to do it on the rack. So here's the meat. I'm going to set it for 4 hours. Actually, you have to set the timer in before it'll even turn on, at least as far as I can tell. So we'll go ahead and get this going and add some chips here in a second. So right now we're going to go ahead and get ready to load in some wood chips. I got these mesquite smoking chips. A buddy of mine gave these to me, and we're just going to go ahead and load this up. I'll probably wind up editing this clip a little bit because it's a little cumbersome, and I'm the only one filming, so we're just going to have to work with it. So this is the wood tray, and you give it a nice little turn, and it comes out like so. This thing is incredibly hot, so I have to be careful. I'm going to pay more attention to the wood chips right now than I am the actual filming, so I don't want to burn myself. Okay. Personally, I can never seem to get this completely right. Okay, after just kind of jimming those in a little bit, I'm just going to go ahead and give this a turn. And when you turn it, it should have all the chips in there. Can't quite seem to get the chips thing down real well, but don't worry, nothing will go to waste. But once that's up and running, we should see some smoke at the top, and that means we should be smoking. Okay, this is the end result. Not quite what I expected. It does look good. It smells really good too. Okay, so we're about to go through the moment of truth. I got some asparagus, some mushrooms, and then I got this chicken breast with rib meat. Looks good, smells good. Moment of truth. Not bad. You can definitely taste the smoky flavor. I might have used the wrong type of wood chips for this type of meat, but not too dry. I'm definitely going to need some practice, but actually I'm fairly satisfied. I will say this too. It is definitely better than anything I would have ever done on the stove or the oven. So it's definitely an improvement. So there you have it. The Masterbuilt electric smoker. Just a few additional details about it. It can hold up to 6 chickens, 2 turkeys, 4 racks of ribs, or 4 pork butts. So it's a pretty versatile unit. Just some overall thoughts about that. Was I pleased with the purchase, even though I technically didn't pay for it? Yes, I would have been. I could actually use this thing. So aside from having to work on seasoning a little bit, I mean, the exterior left something to be desired, but I think that was more my fault than the smoker's fault. The interior of the meat was actually pretty good. So yeah, I think this is a real good purchase. I'm looking forward to using it more frequently. What I can tell you is, can a person with disabilities use it? Yes, absolutely. If the unit is set up in a way that is easily accessible, I would consider it a pretty good unit for anybody that's wanting to live a little bit more independently. So that's definitely a pro. Another pro is it definitely works. Some of the cons, you do have to reload the unit pretty darn frequently. I'd say every 30 minutes to 45 minutes easy, because the wood chips in there do have a tendency to burn out, so it is a little bit of a pain in the neck like that. Furthermore, I don't really see any kind of trays that would really go well with it, so you have to look out for that as well. But overall, I would say this is something that kind of enriches life a little bit. So definitely a great idea for anybody that you might want to do a gift for. A little bit on the pricier side, I would think. It's definitely a want, not a need. So it is a little bit of an optional accessory out there for people, but it gets the job done. Well, anyways, I want to thank you all for tuning in and seeing what I got to say about it. For you barbecue pros out there, I apologize if I just wasn't up to snuff with this one. Just want to give a quick shout out to my totally awesome and lovely production assistant, KT888. So in any case, once again, thank you for tuning in, and this is Mad Marty reminding you to do what's responsible, avoid what's irresponsible, make the most of what you got, and get respect. Mad respect. We'll see you next time.